on here to do a little Pilates warm-up, a Stott Pilates warm-up today, but I thought we'd review the 6 basic principles first. So starting with the breath, principle number 1 is that we inhale through the nose and exhale through pursed lips. We want to breathe 3-dimensionally, so usually most of us are chest breathing, but if we actually try to direct the breath to the lower and back lobes of the lungs, there's some good things that will happen with the diaphragm. Think of it expanding like an umbrella. So principle number 1, breath. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Principle number 2, pelvic placement. We always want a neutral pelvis. Okay. Principle 3, neutral rib cage. So that means when my arms are overhead, my rib cage doesn't explode. We keep that knitted up there. Principle number 4, scapular stability and mobility. Scapula has 6 planes of motion, or 6 movements. Protraction, retraction, elevation, depression, upward rotation, and downward rotation. Okay, so we always want to be aware that the scapula has massive mobility, so we want to give it stability because it only has one little bony attachment. Head and cervical placement, principle 6. Zoom has made a lot of us come forward. We want to really stack up tall from the crown. And then the last principle, principle 6, is the hip, knee, ankle, foot alignment. Okay, so keeping those all in mind as we begin our warm-up today. Okay, so on our back, supine. We're going to start with our breathing. So one hand on the belly, one hand on the chest. Big inhale, see what rises. Try to direct that into the belly first. Then maybe into the low back. And if we want to rock up and do this in a seated position, the classic Pilates position, which I love this one, it's inhale to become tall. On the exhale, nodding the head, rounding down over the legs, just relaxing. Inhale through the nose, pulling that into the lower lobes of the lungs. Exhale through the mouth. Inhaling again through the nose. As we exhale through the mouth, rolling up from the bottom up, think about stacking our spine against a wall. Again, big inhale to become tall. On the exhale, head nod as we roll over the legs. Inhale through the nose, big inhale. Exhale through pursed lips. Again, inhaling through the nose. Exhale through the mouth as we roll up, stacking our spine up. Great. Moving into imprint and release. So we want to find our neutral position. Might need to do a little bit of rocking of the pelvis to do that. So remember, the imprint is not by pressing it down. We don't use the glutes to press it down or the legs. We use a very gentle contraction, pulling up the pelvic floor, pressing in with the obliques and the transverse abdominis. So it looks something like this. Inhaling to neutral. Exhale for the imprint, starting with pelvic floor, pulling that up. Inhale, relax, neutral. Exhale, adding in the transverse abdominis, the obliques, now starting to feel the low back lengthen. Inhale, release. Exhale again. Feel the obliques turning on a little bit more. Feel that low back lengthening. Again, I'm not pushing through the feet or the glutes. Inhale to release. One more. Inhale, release. Next one, hip release. Super important. So it takes the arms out so you have room to move. There can't be any tension there. The foot stays down. So what we do is we just inhale to let the leg fall out and slide. My mat's a bit stickier than it should be. On the exhale, internally rotate. So turn that knee in a little bit as we exhale to bring it in. See, my mat just got in the way. It's best on a wood floor. Inhale, let it go. Exhale, just pull it in. Inhale, let it go. Exhale, pull it in. We do this 5 times on each side. I'm going to move my mat off to the side. Let's reverse that direction. Inhale to take it out. Exhale to pull that leg in. Much better. Inhale as we internally rotate, slide it out. Exhale as we pull that knee in. 3 more like that. Inhale, heel slides out with medial rotation. Exhale. Feel that hip opening. 1 more. Inhale to slide out with internal rotation. Exhale, pulling it in. Okay, other side. Inhale, left leg falls out and slides. Exhale to rotate it inward a bit and pull it in. Inhale, leg slides out. We're going to be watching this side of the pelvis. Exhale, pull it in. It should be stable. Abs still need to be on a little bit. Inhale, left leg slides out. Exhale, immediately rotate while we put it in. Pull it in. 1 more. Inhale to slide out. Exhale to rotate in. Let's reverse the direction, keeping the pelvis stable. Inhale, medial rotation as we slide it out. Exhale, external rotation, knee comes in. Inhale, slide it out. Exhale, bring it in. Pelvis should be neutral. 3 more. Inhale, slide it out. Exhale, drawing it in. Inhale, slide it out. Exhale, coming in. Very nice. Return to the mat. Okay. Next one is spinal rotation. Arms out to the sides, palms down, palms up, whichever you like. I like palms up. Prevents cheating by pressing into the floor. We always start in a tension-free position. No tension in the neck. Okay? So what we want to do is pick up one leg then the other. Neutral pelvis here. If you feel you need to imprint for more stability, no problem. Here's the rule. The knees stay locked together. I want you to think someone has drilled a dowel between your knees. There's no sliding. So as we move, as I move my knees to the left, the whole hip's going to come up. Okay? Inhale to create that abdominal contraction. On the exhale, as my knees move to the left, remember, rib cage position. My rib cage isn't twisting. My knees are together. I'm picking up the entire right hip. Inhale to stay. Exhale, return. Inhale, abs on. Exhale, as I take my knees to the right, the left hip is all the way up. The knees are stacked together. Only go as far as you can, maintaining rib cage stability. Inhale to stay. Exhale, knees return to center. Inhale here. Exhale, knees go to the left. Inhale to stay. Exhale, return to center. 1 more. Inhale, abs on. Exhale, knees move to the right. The left hip is all the way up. Inhale to stay. Exhale, return to center. Knees in the chest as we rock up. Okay? We're going to go now into scapular retraction and protraction. So most of us, we want to, because the scapular protraction, so we inhale here, and then we exhale on the retraction. Because we have so much movement in the protraction, we often want to make it even amount of movement for the retraction, and it doesn't work that way. So we don't want to change the shape of our spine, okay? So inhale to protract, exhale, retract. Inhale, protract, exhale, protract. 2 more. Inhale, exhale, 1 more, and exhale. All right, so coming into cat now. Not cat and cow, cat. So in yoga, we do cat and cow. In Pilates, we do cat. So first, I like to have you start by just letting it hang all out, okay? And then creating that contraction, that connection between rib cage and pelvis. This is where we return on the inhale, okay? Don't bring the knees in too much. You're not going to have room to do the curling. I also like you to check your feet. They're not sickled. Make it pretty. Point your toes, please. Okay, so as we inhale to lengthen, exhale, scooping the belly, tailbone comes down, rounding the lower back, mid-back, upper back, head is last. Inhale to stay. On the exhale, leading with the tailbone, lengthening low back, middle back, upper back, head is last. Keeping the connection with the rib cage and pelvis. Inhale to stay. Exhale, start with an imprint feeling, hollowing out the belly, rounding that tailbone, low back, mid back, upper back, head is last. Inhale to stay. Exhale, leading with the tailbone. lengthening through the crown. One more like that. Inhale to stay. Exhale, starting with the sacrum, rounding, low back, middle, upper, pressing into the mat. Head is last. Big inhale to stay. Exhale, leading with the tailbone, lengthening. Nice. Take a nice shell stretch. Come back. And then let's have a seat as we go into hip rolls. Super fun hip rolls. Okay? So we want to be feeling really, really broad across the shoulder blades. Okay? Palms down. Feet not turned out. Make them straight ahead, please. So not turned out like this, straight ahead. What we want to avoid is letting the knees roll out at the top. Lengthening through the knees. Okay? So big inhale. On our exhale, starting with that imprint feeling, scooping out the belly, pressing into the feet, glutes fully engaged. Now, you're not going to go too high. Remember this thing about that hip-rib connection, so we're not looking to do this. It's not a back bend. Straight line, lengthening through the knees, inhale. On the exhale, starting from the upper back, rolling down one vertebrae at a time, scooping out the belly, hollowing out the belly so every vertebrae has an opportunity to hit the mat. At the bottom, inhale, rocking back to neutral. Exhale through the mouth, imprinting, rolling up through the spine, articulating into that nice straight line, lengthening through knees. Glutes are on. Inhale to stay. Exhale, one vertebrae at a time. Comes down. This is the hard part. Getting the lumbar to hit. Pulling in the abs. Pulling the abs. Ho. Inhale to stay. Rocking the pelvis to neutral. Last time. Exhale. Rounding out that belly. Scooping it out. Knees straight ahead. Not splaying out to the sides. At the top, glutes are so on, firing. Inhale to stay. Exhale, one vertebrae at a time. Starts rolling down at the mat. One vertebrae at a time. Scooping out the pelvis, hollowing it out as you hit those lumbar vertebrae. Inhale, returning to that neutral pelvis. Very nice. Okay, so one of the principles about the rib cage alignment comes into play next for our arm circles, because if we take our arms overhead, but the whole rib cage expands, we're not keeping a neutral rib cage. Okay, we want to keep it knit up here. Keep this, okay, without expanding. So that means an abdominal connection. So let's test it out. So maybe you're able to come here. Remember that, okay? So wherever that is, I can come back without losing the connection. Maybe you can, okay? So as we inhale up, exhale to sweep. There should be no popping or clicking. Inhale up, no tension in the neck. Exhale, sweeping. Inhale up. Exhale, sweeping. Inhale up. Exhale, sweep. One more. Inhale up. Exhale, sweep. And let's reverse that direction. Inhale, sweep. Exhale. Inhale, sweep. Exhale, arms come to the hips. Inhale, sweep. Arms come over. One more time. Inhale. And exhale, arms sweep. Scissors is next. So maintaining this nice rib cage connection, arms up, we inhale at the top. Okay, so inhale here. Exhale. Inhale. Nice. So we have two more movements in our warm-up. The head nod. And the reason this is important because it's going to teach us the proper positioning for curling up into our ab prep, which we don't want to leave the head behind. Okay, so when we lengthen the back of our neck to come up for ab prep and many other exercises, we're training the neck to do the right thing. The hardest part is to really imagine that you're drawing a line on the ceiling that from where we are be about 3 feet if I just nod my head this much. Inhale, exhale, release. So as I'm looking and I'm drawing a line with my eyes, eye movement is critical. Where you look matters. So if I look at that, think of 3 feet on the ceiling and I inhale to nod my head. should feel a lengthening in the back of the neck. All right, and our last one should be easy peasy. A lot of people struggle with it. It's the elevation and depression of the shoulders. So just inhaling to elevate, exhale to depress. Two more. Okay, so that's 10 exercises for the Pilates warm-up, Stott Pilates warm-up. And you might say, hey, warm-up, not what I'm thinking of. Like, what about a half-hour cardio, something like that? You have to understand that with Pilates, we're talking about the skeleton. All of these things we did were for the skeleton. The head nods for our cervical spine. The hip release for everything in that hip and pelvis area, okay? So it's about the skeleton. So if you're not sweating, I get it, because it was a big thing for me to realize this is a different kind of warm-up, but we're warming up the skeleton. And then I promise you, if you will come back and be with me for some of the Pilates exercises like teaser and swan dive, you'll have plenty of opportunity to sweat. So thank you for being with me today.